I can't wait for you to get to Andor. Um, how's it going, guys? So Maul Shadow Lord just finished up, and that's what we're going to talk about today because we're huge Star Wars fans, and we thought the show was amazing, awesome, the best ever. I
Best
mean,
since
where do we
Clone
start?
Wars, I think.
Really,
I'm gonna
since Clone
and
Wars?
listen, I'm gonna say this. Fair warning, there's still a lot of shows I'm catching up on, right? You saw the lists.
Yeah. So you're saying this, and
But
you haven't seen Andor yet, and I think once you see Andor,
okay, best animation for sure too.
okay,
Like,
best animation. I think I can agree with you on that.
because I'm really liking Bad Batch, right?
Hmm.
But I've always been like, and this is nothing, no bad stuff towards Bad Batch, right? But like I've always been more of like the lightsaber battles for me, like the Jedi, the Sith,
Yeah, that's Star Wars to
the
you.
storyline, yeah,
Yeah, that's totally fair.
but I love Bad Batch for that reason because it's like this, which I was thinking about this while I was watching one of the episodes earlier. I was like, this is totally cool how this is going on while like the main story is going on.
Hmm.
You and I mean,
Well,
like
that's why, like I said, you need to watch Andor because that's one of the reasons why I love Andor so much is because it tells just a completely different side of what's going on in the galaxy during this period of time. I mean, the Force, right, and the dark side and the Jedi and this, right, none of it is even mentioned once, right? Not even referenced throughout that show. So you would say, did you enjoyed kind of what we're getting from Maul more than what you've enjoyed from the Clone Wars?
more, I don't know. Just because
Because
Clone
I
Wars
would
is
say they're
Clone Wars.
different.
Yeah, I mean Clone Wars is I
It's
don't
the
want to say it
Clone Wars. I
sets
mean,
the
it's
yeah, it sets the I don't want to say it sets it, but like it sets the tone for Star Wars for me. Like you watch this if you I mean if you watch it all the way through, right, from very first episode to the very last episode, it's don't get me wrong, the movies are what makes Star Wars, but at the end of the day,
oh
like
right.
the Clone Wars is the Clone Wars, dude. Like,
Yeah, no, I mean it's in a category of its own just
yeah,
because of I mean without the Clone Wars, right? Without the Clone Wars, the prequels don't I think make as much sense. They're not as impactful.
they don't mean that as much.
Yeah, because the Clone Wars filled a lot of plot holes that we
Mhm.
had in those movies. Um, well, and also for someone like me, the Clone Wars is what originally got me into Star Wars, right? Because I was, 7 or 8 years old coming home from elementary school,
Mhm.
and the Clone Wars was on Cartoon Network,
Yep.
right? And I fell in love with the show, and next thing I know, my parents, they got the VHS tapes, out of the closet, and they said, "Oh, and we're gonna blow your mind," right? And then they showed me the original trilogy, and right, the rest is history, right? But so yeah, I mean, right, obviously, like, the Clone Wars like, this is what this is all stemmed from, right? It's the same animation style, right? It's just obviously 100 times better because it's not 2008 anymore. Um,
Yeah.
but so s people are screaming out there. I'm like, "What the" the Clone Wars really sets the baseline right for this show, and, one of the reasons why I love this show so much is because I think it embodies the two best shows we've already gotten, all right? And it embodies the Clone Wars because of the nostalgic aspect of it, right? Right? Because it feels like the Clone Wars. It's based off of the same animation style, right? The same voices. And it's a continuation of that, kind of the storyline there. Um, but what I also think it does, and I think it takes the depth and maturity of the story and the writing that we saw in Andor. And they implemented that into an animated show. And that's why I love Darth Maul so much, because the reason why Andor is one of my favorite shows is because it kind of takes a step away from, the Force and the battle between, the light side and the dark side. And it really just focuses on the motivations of the empire, right? How the empire is able to control an entire galaxy, right? What creates a rebellion. It gets really deep into the political aspect, and it tells it in a really gritty and mature way. Um, to the point where it's like you don't even feel like you're watching a Star Wars show. Like you just feel like you're just watching a really, really well done show. Um,
Yeah.
and I think Darth Maul kind of takes some of that depth that they used in Andor into its writing, and we get a very gritty story, we get a very emotional story, right? We see a whole new side to Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
And we also kind of get a more realistic feel of kind of the way the galaxy's operating, right? We get to know a human figure really close, and Brandor Lawson, and we kind of get an idea of the politics that are going on, right? It's a Janix, right? They're currently an independent planet. They don't want they don't want imperial involvement, and we kind of get to see how that all works out. But that's why I love Maul so much, I think.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I can't speak too much on Andor yet,
Hmm.
but I mean, it almost for me felt like I was a kid again watching Clone Wars, and I was
Hmm.
like, I love this. And
Yeah.
there wasn't an episode I didn't like out of all 10 episodes.
Yeah.
I finished episode 10 last night, and I'm like, dude, I want to start season 2 right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Me too. Me too. I remember I sat there and I was just like, what do I do? Like, how long do I have to wait for this shit, dude?
and I mean, you know, what I was thinking too is when episode 9 finished with that cliffhanger with Vader walking out. I'm like, dude, you know, if they were really dicks, they could have just ended the season right there.
Oh my
Which
God. Yeah.
could you
So
imagine?
glad
Like,
they didn't.
no, yeah, absolutely. But um, it's funny because I remember telling you I saw a spoiler the day before,
Hmm.
and it was a picture of Vader on top of Maul while they were battling. I'm like, there's no way this is real.
It was real.
And then right before I started watching it, this TikTok video was like, yes, Maul did fight Vader. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but I've been
I don't
saying
really
that, right?
know. I
I
don't
mean,
know why Disney decided to release the episode at 12 o'clock in everybody's given time zone.
mm-hmm.
That was kind of stupid because people who got it in the other side of the world got it 12 hours before all of us, which gave the opportunity for spoilers for all of us.
Yeah,
So that was, I don't know why they did that, but it is what it is. I mean, I stayed off of social media, and I stayed up until 12 and watched it as soon as it came out. Um,
I'll tell you what, that was funny thinking about. I didn't even think about this till probably like halfway through episode 10 when they were still fighting out. I'm like,
mhm.
Maul hasn't seen him since he was a kid when he almost ran him over in episode 1.
No, they've never interacted,
Yeah. And I'm like, hold
but
on, they've done something in Clone Wars, but they never did. They never.
no, and I mean, I've watched the Clone Wars probably at least 5 times all the way through at
Oh
this
yeah,
point. I mean, I'm 22, and I mean, I've been watching that show since it first came out, right, when I was
yeah.
a kid. So I've seen it plenty of times, and I'm like, I had to look up and double check. I'm like, these guys really haven't ever seen it, so, and it's really interesting because you heard Maul say, who are you or what are you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, which knowing Maul, um, he has to know who it is. Not in the sense of, oh, it's Anakin Skywalker. Well, I think he does have to know it's Anakin Skywalker. Actually, I think Maul
Mm-hmm.
right now, and they didn't touch on it, there's no way Maul doesn't know it's Anakin Skywalker because Darth Maul is going to know who the apprentice of Darth Sidious is if he meets him. And after fighting him and knowing the fighting style and the power and the way that he can't handles himself, and I'm sure what he's able to sense from him, he has to know that, okay, I'm fighting the apprentice of Darth Sidious right now. He knows Darth Sidious is alive. He knows he's the Emperor. What he
Mm-hmm.
also knew is he knew, because this was talked about, he mentioned it in his fight against Ahsoka at the end of the Clone Wars, that he knows Anakin Skywalker is the person Darth Sidious is going after, right? He knows that Darth Sidious has been grooming Anakin to become his apprentice. He knows how powerful Anakin is. So I 100% think that at this point, and what we're going to find out come season 2, is that Darth Maul has put 2 and 2 together, that not only is this person, this giant black figure that he fought, Darth Sidious's apprentice, but it's Anakin Skywalker under that mask. I think that's what we're going to see come season 2.
So do you think he realized it mid-fight, or do you think like the first couple episodes of season 2 he's gonna be like come to the realization he's gonna put like you'll kind of see him put 2 and 2 together?
So that's a good question. I mean,
Because I think that's how it's gonna go, to be
I
honest.
think that there's no way, with how smart Darth Maul is,
Hmm.
that he doesn't realize that this is a Sith Lord. This is
Yeah,
Darth Sidious's apprentice. There's no
yeah,
way he didn't realize that.
yeah, yeah,
Um, like I could totally understand, like, when he asks that, like, what are you? Like, at first, right? That first time they meet, they're like, Darth Maul's gotta be sitting there like, holy shit, like, what is this? Like, I fought Inquisitors. This clearly isn't an Inquisitor. But there's no way by the end of that fight, just being a victim to the power that Darth Vader has, there's no way he doesn't realize that, okay, this is a Sith Lord, this is Darth Sidious's apprentice. Now, it could take him a little bit to put it together that is Anakin Skywalker, right? Because at
yeah,
this point, he doesn't know what happened with Anakin.
yeah.
But I think why he has to know, though, is because, like, Darth Sidious's plan worked, right?
Hmm.
The Empire's taken over, he's Emperor. So his plan worked, and the Jedi have been, right, for the most part, genocided, right? The Jedi are dead. They've been wiped out. So clearly, Darth Sidious's plan worked. And I think Darth Maul has to assume that he was successful in getting Anakin Skywalker as his apprentice.
So crazy question for you after watching this first season. Kind of a two-part question. You think we'll see him fight Vader again? And also, because I've seen some mixed answers on this, you think we see him run into Emperor Palpatine before this show's over? Because I think there might be a shot that we could see a little something. Because look, he's fought him already, right? He killed his brother. I mean, he obviously wants to kill the guy. There's no question about that. But like, I mean, could you see him and what's her name? I'm blanking on her name right now.
Devin?
maybe
Devin Azara?
maybe they fight it out with Palpatine. Could you ever see something like that?
I I don't know how you can stage a fight between Darth Sidious, because Darth Sidious clearly wants Darth Maul dead.
Hmm.
And I don't see a scenario where Darth Maul survives that. And Darth Maul has to survive, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And that's the only reason why I don't, because I don't know how they can write an interaction between Darth Maul and Darth Sidious in a way where it doesn't piss fans off.
yeah. That's
Because
that's fair.
you look at the way that this first season went. In my head, there's no way that Darth Sidious doesn't kill him if they meet. So if they meet, right, they have to not kill Maul because, right, he's alive later on in in Star Wars, right? So, and I think that's going to piss people off if they put an interaction where he doesn't die, because it wouldn't make sense, I think,
But
for him to not die in an interaction with Sidious.
but I agree. I think you will see Vader again, though.
You think so?
I
You
think
think they
so.
fight again?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't know how it'll be done, but I like thinking about that. Like, especially after watching it and really thinking about, I'm like, there's no way these two don't see each other ever again. Like, there's gotta be
Well,
something.
yeah, because to your point, I mean, like, Darth Vader's gonna take it personally that he didn't finish his job, right?
Yeah,
Right, and you know Darth Vader is getting back on his Imperial Star Destroyer after that battle, and Darth Sidious is probably pretty unhappy with him for not finishing off Maul,
yeah,
right? In fact, Darth Sidious is probably gonna tell him to, pull up to the Death Star or, the throne room on Coruscant. He's probably gonna, freaking force lightning Darth Vader, to the point where he's suffering, for not killing Maul in that situation, right?
yeah.
So Darth Vader's gonna take that personally, and I think to your point, I mean, I think he's gonna continue to hunt down Maul. That also makes sense because I think right? Clearly, Devin is, right? He's going to become Talon, or kind of, however they choose to adapt the idea of that character in the show, right? It's not going to be Darth Talon, right? Because he's not Darth
Yeah.
Maul anymore. He doesn't identify with the Sith. So they may not even use the name Talon. They might just stick with the name Devin. Um, but the fact is, she's that character, right? That was
Yeah.
in Star Wars Legends. But like in my head, I'm kind of sitting here. I'm like, I feel like she has to die
Yep.
at
Yep.
some point in this show, right? Because she's not in
100%.
Rebels. Something clearly happens. Um, and I'm looking at this, and it's like, okay, the Inquisitors couldn't kill her, and she hadn't even turned to the dark side yet. So what she turns to the dark side, she's clearly going to be more powerful than an Inquisitor. So it's like, who's going to kill her?
Vader.
It has to be Vader, right?
Hmm.
So to your point, yeah, and I also don't think that. I think we do see him again. I like that point you made.
If I'm being honest, just remembering how, I mean, I gotta watch Rebels again because I don't remember most of it, but I remember how it's like he's on his own. Maul's pretty much lost everything at that point. I think it's as clear as day what's going to happen is Maul and Devin will run into him again. Maul's going to escape, but Devin dies. And that's kind of like how things start to fall apart for him. And then eventually he's going to be by himself. And that's why he's so
Yeah,
crazy.
and we've kind of talked about this before, and I've seen some people talk about this on Twitter as well, since and on TikTok since the finale came out, right? Because right now, Darth Maul's mission is to seek revenge upon Darth Sidious, right? This is the person that's wronged him, right? He's wiped out his planet. He's killed his brother. He killed the Dathomirian men that were right. His empire is the one that killed the Dathomirian brothers that were in his crime cult, or whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Darth Sidious is the one that took everything from him. Right now, his mission to kill Darth Sidious, but at some point between now and Rebels, right? Because in Rebels, Darth Maul's single and only mission was to seek revenge on Obi-Wan Kenobi. So something changed, and at some point, Darth Maul probably fails and realizes that it's not going to be possible for him to kill Darth Sidious. So to your point, maybe there is an interaction, and he somehow survives with Darth
Yeah.
Sidious.
I'd rather just go the safe route and have him fight Vader again, I
Yeah.
think.
Now, one thing that would be really cool to see is have Darth Vader actually be a character that we see consistently throughout the second season. And the reason why I think that could be possible is, like I said, what we know about Darth Vader and what we've seen in the Kenobi show is, once Darth Vader was sent to um find Obi-Wan Kenobi and handle this, I don't want to spoil it, but you haven't seen
He sent
Kenobi
a
yet.
lot of it, though, right?
Yeah, well, the point is he's put on a mission to accomplish something, and he sticks to it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, right, clearly he's been sent on a mission to take care of Darth Maul.
Yeah.
I
I lo-
don't see why that would change come next season,
mhm.
right? Like I like Darth Sidious is gonna sit here and tell him, like, no, like you're my guy. Like, I don't have anyone more powerful than you, Vader. You go take care of Maul.
So you think we at least see Sidious in this show?
I do. And I think what we might see is we could see like a little bit more of like behind the scenes with Darth Vader, of like, Darth Sidious. Like, we might see some interactions between Vader and Sidious. And I think we might get some like just Darth Vader scene time of him trying to track down Maul, right? Of him experiencing the wrath of Darth Sidious for failing to kill Maul, and kind of stuff like that. So I think there's a good chance we see a lot of Darth Vader.
I like it.
Because to me, like I said, to me it doesn't make sense that Darth Sidious sends Darth Vader after Maul one time and is just like, all right, yeah, we're good. Just we'll let the Inquisitors go after him. That wouldn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, man, those last two episodes, dude, were just like, I couldn't
I know
have.
we haven't even really dove into them yet. We've been talking about what we think is going to happen the whole time, but
Well,
let's
I
start off
mean,
just because it's the last thing you mentioned. How about that scene to end the second to last episode, of where Darth Vader lights his lightsaber and the entire background, the mist, the fog, turns red,
The
like a red
breath,
glow.
you can hear him breathing.
Yeah.
That's the first thing we
Talk,
heard too. We didn't see him until we got the first
I mean,
couple.
Darth Vader has some awesome entrances in shows, right? He
Oh
rarely
yeah.
enters a show in a way that's not cool. Um, and that was one of the best, in my opinion.
Without spoiling it, is this intro in Obi-Wan kind of cool? I don't know if you can remember it at the top of your head, but
I'm trying to remember when we first see him. Um, yeah, it is really cool, actually.
so
Yeah, it's different though. It's not.
yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? I don't even know if I want to call it a cave, but that battle they had in there while the droid was taking two across at a time. The
hmm
Inquisitors came in and they started fighting it out. And I thought that
I
was
was.
super cool.
It was really good, and it's one of the best animated. I mean, just all around. I mean, it's just the some of the best animated. The only animated lightsaber fight I would say is better is the animated lightsaber fight between Darth Maul and Ahsoka. And the reason why that fight is my favorite animated lightsaber fight is because they actually had real actors act out that fight
Mm-hmm.
and then put the animation over it. So those are real human movements in
Mm-hmm.
that fight scene between Darth Maul and Ahsoka. Or I don't know if he was still Darth Maul then. He might have been Maul at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the only reason why that's still number one in my head. But I mean, these fights that we saw, I mean, Darth Vader versus Darth Maul is easily probably the second best
Yeah.
animated lightsaber fight we've ever gotten.
I I mean I think every fight in this series has been good though, to be
Oh yeah,
honest
and
with
I
you.
mean it makes sense. I mean, we should get our best anime because animation's only gotten better and their ability to do these things have only gotten better. But
And I think obviously part of it is animation, but I think it is impressive because I saw a video on this showing Maul's first fight, killing Qui-Gon, great skills, obviously, lightsaber skills in the beginning there. All these years later, which I don't know the exact time. I mean, it's a while. It's been years,
yeah, I'd have to do the math in my
like
head.
25, 30 years, right?
Yeah, because it's 10 years I think between
I think it's 15 years
it's 10 years between the Phantom Menace
and
and
two.
Attack of the Clones, and then 3 years. The Clone Wars lasted 3 years, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so that's 13 years, and then this show takes place 1 year after Revenge of the Sith, and the events of Revenge of the Sith. I think that was only like a 3 or 4 day period. I don't really know, but
Yeah.
so 14 years essentially. It's been 14 years, I think.
So, I mean, I don't even know where I was going to go with this, but I mean, oh, so it's like his skills being that good for that long. I mean, that's pretty impressive to me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and when you think about that, he spent just over 10 years with spider legs, living in just insanity and rage, and not even at that point like a functional being, right?
Hmm.
And then for him to kind of resurrect his abilities like that is really cool.
And I mean, those
But
Inquisitors are no easy.
no, no. Um, but so one thing I want to talk about is right. So they've really humanized Maul in this show. I think we've seen a different side of Maul, right? We
Hmm.
haven't just seen him as the. We've always known that he was smart, and we've always known that his purpose throughout the Clone Wars has all been to kill Obi-Wan and to stop Darth Sidious's plan, or not. Because I mean
Kill
his
Darth
goal at
Sidious.
yeah, because his goal at the end of the Clone Wars was to kill Anakin Skywalker so that Darth Sidious wouldn't have his apprentice and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, but I feel like this is the first time we've really gotten a very human, emotional feel for Darth Maul, right? Because I kind of thinking back to the visions that he had while he was in the cave and in the waterfall or whatever, right? I mean, we saw Darth Maul cry, right? Would you say you're at the point where you're like I don't consider Darth Maul the bad guy anymore?
Interesting. Well, I'm gonna be honest. He's one of my favorite characters in Star Wars,
Yeah.
just overall. Probably like as high as top three, if not one of
Yeah.
my favorite.
No, and he
Number
has been
one.
for a while for you, and I know that.
Um, I thought it was a great scene because it really did humanize him, like you said. And I'm like, this. And it's funny because I was like, man, like this is portrayed this whole show like he is the good guy, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And I'm like thinking about it, right? Like, I mean, obviously, you have what happened in Phantom Menace, and then Clone Wars. He was down. I mean, he was down there for like 10 years with his spider legs and shit.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm like, man, like you think about it, he got taken at a young age.
Yep.
I mean, he was twisted in his mind the rest of his life, right? I mean, it's fair to say he was never that bad. I mean, obviously he was for a time, but I mean, I honestly, as bad as it sounds, I don't. Most of his intentions are not bad. Like, I mean,
No,
I
because
do.
this is where Star Wars has created this really complicated view of good and evil. Because it's like, yeah, on a surface level, the dark side is bad and the light side is good, right? And obviously, Maul is still a user of the dark side of the Force, right? He uses his rage and his anger and his need for revenge to motivate him, and that's where he gets his power from. And right, the idea is that's not good, right? You want to, right, if you have those powers, you want to use them for the good of others and control it and have it come from love and compassion, not rage and anger. But
Yeah,
the actual things that he's trying to do, right? He is trying to diminish an evil that has spread tyranny across the galaxy.
yeah. I think somebody said this, and I totally love what they said. He's doing the right things, but the way he's doing it is just not the right. Like the way he goes about it. You know what I mean? Like the full force
Hmm.
rage, it's probably not the best way to handle things. I think obviously how he kind of force pushed what's his name into Vader last night was I was like I caught that and I'm like
Oh yeah, he purposefully left Master Daki so he would die to Vader so that Devin could fall to the dark side and he could take her as apprentice.
and
And
it's
that's obviously not a that's an evil
no and
intent.
I saw that and I had this oh shit moment where I'm like,
You're almost reminded that, oh
yeah,
shit, he's still
he's still a bad guy at the end of the
right.
day.
He still has rage and anger. He's still evil, clearly.
But it shows how smart he is because it works.
Yeah.
It
But on
100%
the flip
works.
side of that, you also see that and they purposefully showed this, like when the members of his crew died, especially when I can't remember his name. It was Ikaru or something like that. The other Dathomirian man that was in his little group there, when he died, and when his droid died, right? There's clearly emotion and sadness to their death. So like clearly he cares for the people he's around, right?
Hmm.
And I think they did that on purpose. Like they clearly wanted to show that like Darth Maul cares about the people in his circle.
Yeah, and I mean I'm also that's just why I'm so excited for season two. I'm excited to see how he goes kind of about. I mean, he's lost everybody pretty
Hmm.
much, obviously, but I mean, this is going a little off the rails here, but I think somebody looked like they died and they actually didn't, and I think that
Hmm.
could have a huge, huge impact. Because I don't think Lawson's dead. I think we kind of agree on
Really?
that. I mean, what do you think? Because I think it shows him kind of go off in the mist, and it intentionally shows him seeing Maul Force push him in a Vader. He saw all that, and then he went off into the mist after he got shot. If you remember that, because I actually played that back, and I was like, "That's interesting how this was." I don't even want to say film because it's animated, but the way they did it,
Yeah.
he force pushed him in. It shows Lawson look like, "What the heck?"
I don't think Lawson's could have seen
He
that. I
he
think they
saw
were
it.
they were in. I'd have to go back and check that.
Yeah. No, because I was. It's funny. I was seeing about that, and I thought I was crazy, and then I saw people on Twitter talking about it. They intentionally don't show him die either. He goes off into the
Right.
mist or whatever. They're like, people are thinking he's going to come back and he's going to tell Devin about what really happened. I mean, I don't know if she'd even believe it at that point anyway, but I mean, I think it is weird how he kind of went off in the mist that way too.
No, I mean that could be interesting. I don't see how Lawson doesn't die right there, but
Yeah.
I love his character. I mean,
Oh, me
it'd be
too.
cool for, but
Yeah,
and Star Wars is known for
doing that.
having people miraculously survive things that they shouldn't survive. But so yeah, I'm also very interested to see where Riley's character falls into all of this. I'm very curious to see the relationship between Darth Maul and Devin. And I'm interested to see how Darth Maul treats Devin as his apprentice. If he's going to take a little bit more of a fatherly, caring approach to her, or if he's going to take like the approach that, you know, dark side users tend to take with their apprentice, where it's very like Darth Maul or Darth Sidious essentially tortures his apprentices to fuel their hate and anger.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like I'm interested to kind of see how Darth Maul is going to handle that because he, like I said, it's like sometimes you're sitting there like, hey, Darth Maul doesn't seem like that bad of a guy, right? And then he does things, and you're like, okay, well he is still evil. So
Okay, check out what I just sent you real quick. So he doesn't see him actually get stabbed, but it shows the exact scene here. This is before he looks at it and he's like disappointed.
oh yeah, you're right. I totally missed that.
And then I guess somebody also said, I'm trying to find it, that the guy that voices Lawson pretty much gave away that he's doing stuff for season 2.
Really?
Yeah. Which I guess that was before, like, when they were doing all the press for this. But I was like, did he not kind of think about how season 1 ended? He probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I hope so because he's he's probably a top 3 favorite character in the show for me. I think he's,
Oh yeah, I love him.
um, I mean, I think it was you that asked though, like, what is going to happen to him? Something's going to happen to him
Yeah.
and his son, right? I mean, I think,
I wanna go back to our conversation about whether or not Darth Maul is really the bad guy, right? Because
mhm,
you kind of said how, right, it's like he's doing the right things, but the way he's going about him is
yeah,
wrong, and that's kind of what still makes him a bad guy. But it's interesting because that's kind of a theme that we've seen all throughout Star Wars and the battle against the Empire, because we see this a lot in Andor, we see this a lot in Rogue One, and we see it in Rebels, where the character Saw Gerrera, he leads and Saw Gerrera, I mean, he was also a character in the Clone Wars, right? They showed him when he was young. But and I can say this without spoiling anything, but Saw Gerrera leads essentially a extremist rebel group
mhm,
who will do whatever they can to harm the Empire by any means necessary. They don't care who has to die. They don't care who they have to sacrifice. They'll do whatever it takes, right? And right, typically the main rebel cell, I guess the one that typically, we follow, the one that we follow in Andor and in Rogue One and all throughout the original trilogy, right? They're like, okay, we need to take care of the Empire, but we need to do it the right way. Um, but it's a big controversy, right? Kind of between some of these different rebel cells where it's like, some people feel that like Saw Gerrera's cell feels like, okay, this other cell, they're gonna fail because they're not willing to do really what it takes to kill the Empire. Like, yes, we sacrifice, sometimes we have to do things that aren't great, but like it's what it's gonna take to take down the Empire.
mhm,
So the line between what's good and what's bad is really blurred, and the way I look at it is like that's where I'm kind of sitting here and I'm like Darth Maul's not wrong in anything he said.
yeah,
I think, he's not wrong that, we go all the way back to like, episode 2 or 3, whenever it was, when he's like talking to Devin, where he's like, yeah, like we come from different paths, but like we have the same enemy. Like we're essentially on each other's side. And obviously his intention behind that is because he wants Devin to join him, but
he's not wrong though.
he's not wrong.
Um,
And Devin brought that point up to Master Docky, in whatever episode that was, 3 or 4. But um, I don't know.
Master Docky got rocked.
Yeah, dude, that's still shitty what Darth Maul did to him, though. I will say
It's
that.
funny though, because I was thinking, um, it was early on in the last episode when Docky told her to go.
Hmm.
I was like, this is how he's gonna go, because it makes sense. We all know he's gonna die. No offense, poor guy,
Yeah,
but no better way to go out, right? And it was super impactful for the story now, because
yeah.
now Devin's pissed off. Like that's perfect for the storyline.
Yeah.
But I think I like what you said about Maul, because it really is. I mean, put yourself in his shoes, right? Like he was taken at a super young age,
And then
trained, yeah,
abandoned.
trained super well, left down in the dumps for 10 years. Anybody's going to go mentally insane down there, right?
Yeah.
Comes back. His only two motivations, right, is to get Obi-Wan back, which fair, he cut him in half.
Right.
I would do that too. And then go get Darth Sidious for what he's done, which
Hmm.
again, totally fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shame he never really gets to do either one, but I mean,
Yeah.
um, his his intentions are totally fair in my opinion, and I think it was cool that they added that scene in there, like showing him crying a little bit in the flashbacks, because I totally forgot he was taken at such a young age too,
Hmm.
and that really reminded me of that. And then his brother got.
Well, they kind of changed. So the original thought is, because there's the book about Darth Plagueis, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I haven't read it. I assume you
Yeah, I
have read
haven't
it.
read it.
But it's not officially canon. But there's never been a piece of content that's contradicted anything in the book up
Mhm.
until Maul Shadow Lord. But in the book, essentially, Darth Sidious takes Darth Maul when Maul is an infant, like a baby. And at that point, Darth Sidious, he's still Darth Plagueis' apprentice. He hasn't, right? Because the story is Darth Sidious kills his master in his sleep,
Mhm.
whatever, and whatever, all that. But what they changed in the show is that Darth Sidious took Darth Maul from Dathomir when Maul was, a teenager, right? I think they calculate. I don't know. Someone said he was 14. I don't know how you can confirm that.
He looked around that. I mean, maybe a little
But,
younger. Yeah,
other thing that was cool too is that they showed that Maul and Savage Opress knew each other when they were children on Dathomir. I think that's a really cool that they decided to, make that a canon event.
I was such a huge fan of him too,
Yeah.
and I knew he
And it
had to
adds
die.
more it just adds more meaning to the fact that they became partners, throughout the Clone Wars, and it adds more meaning to the fact that Darth Sidious killed Savage Opress. So
I remember that when that episode came out, and the preview, like the week before, was showing like the showdowns have finally happened, and I'm like, dude. First of all, I was excited for Darth Maul, but then I'm like, there's no way he wins this. Like literally
yeah,
0%. So I'm like,
yeah.
but his brother has to die eventually, right? Because I mean,
Hmm.
watch the movies, but I mean, imagine how cool it'd be to see him in live action. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
even know who you would get for that, but I mean,
yeah. Savage Opress would look badass in live
isn't
action.
he like 7 feet tall or something like that?
He's gotta be, dude. Um, but oh, you froze. Give it a second here.
You back? Yeah, there. Yeah, you're back. 7 foot
Um,
2.
Jesus. Yeah, who do you get to play that?
Shit,
um,
I don't even know.
you could throw the Rock in throw the Rock in
He would
there, or
do
like
so awful at that.
I know.
God.
Ugh. But he's bald and he's jacked and he could I don't know how tall Dwayne Johnson is. I get the sense that he's tall. Maybe that's just because every movie he's in, he does it with Kevin Hart, so it makes Dwayne Johnson look like he's
You
7 feet tall.
make
But
Kevin Hart Darth Maul for the. Yeah, but I mean, no, I mean, it was. it was really cool to see Darth Maul that from that point of view.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't blame him for anything he wants to do, to be honest with you. I mean, I think, you know, he
No,
could
and
have
it's like
done.
they've kind of been, hinting at, like, definitely in Rebels, they made Darth Maul look pretty bad. At least in the temple scenes when he was with Ezra, but in his death scene, you know,
I do remember
after
that.
his
Yeah.
with his rematch with Obi-Wan, he says something right before he dies. I can't remember the exact words, but it was something along the lines of like, will he avenge us? I think is what he said, right? Because he knew Obi-Wan was there protecting someone, right? There's no other reason for Obi-Wan to be, on Tatooine.
Hmm.
Um, I can't remember what they had Obi-Wan said. I don't know if he was like he will or like whatever.
Something like that.
But
Yeah.
clearly it's like Darth Maul, like, it's like he failed. But in the end of the day, he wants to see Darth Sidious get taken down. I thought those were really cool last words for him.
That was
Where
a,
it's like, will
yeah,
like, or it might have been, is he the chosen one or something like that? Or yeah,
it was
some.
something.
I think it was, will he avenge us? I think is what he said. But
Yeah.
I haven't watched that show in a couple years. But
Yeah. I mean, I'm really excited to see where they take this thing because there's
mhm.
so many different ways. Because
There's so much they can
I
do
mean, I'm
right
sure it's
now.
going to be a lot of him training her, right, this next season.
Yeah.
Um, how's he going to test her though? Is going to be very interesting. So I'm
Hmm.
sure there's going to be some dark stuff there.
Well, the
Um,
other thing too is because at some point he's got to take over the Crimson Dawn,
mhm,
right? Because in Solo he was like Drayden Voss
mhm.
was a subordinate to Darth Maul, right? Darth Maul is controlling all that. So at some point, and right now, right, Darth Maul is in debt to Drayden Voss. So, at some point that changes, right? So they're going to show that. They're going to show how he, essentially reestablishes his crime syndicate.
Yeah,
So that's going to be really cool to see. Also, though, that Vario character, I love Vario,
the
short little blue
little,
guy.
the little. Oh my gosh,
Yeah. Um, so he and I have this weird feeling he's gonna have like a really important role at some point.
really?
Yeah, like obviously right now he's kind of just there to be the comedic relief throughout the show.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I have this weird feeling that at some point he's gonna do something that's going to have really big implications for what Darth Maul is trying to do.
I was going to say, I thought he was going to die. So,
I didn't think they were gonna kill him. They,
I
they, they
mean,
don't they don't
no,
kill the funny guy.
not like right away, but I could see
Oh,
it before the show's over, type thing. Like
really?
he could be a casualty for sure. But I mean,
Yeah.
I,
I mean, he could try and like stab Darth Maul in the back, or he could become like, Darth Maul's little puppet, right? Darth Maul's got to, he's got to run a crime syndicate and he needs guys that will do whatever he does. So,
yeah, I
and
think,
Vario's kind of fucked. Like, he either leaves Darth Maul and Darth Maul kills him, or he just does whatever Darth Maul says. I mean, he's in a tough spot.
yeah, he may as well just stay at that point. So,
Yeah, I mean, he's got no other choice.
but I mean, it's gonna be good because I mean, you could do 4 or 5 seasons of the show if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I
Honestly,
think so too. I mean, there's still,
plenty of time.
I mean, I don't know what the exact timeline is. I think, there's still 5 years
Something like that.
before Rebels, I think, because right, because I'm pretty sure Luke Skywalker's like 20, right? I think he's like 20 in A New Hope. So there's
Yeah.
20 years between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, and Rebels is, I believe, 15 years ish before A New Hope. So we essentially have 4 years between what just happened and the events of Star Wars Rebels. So
So in the next
there's
5 years, he's gonna get everything and lose everything.
yeah. So there's a lot to tell. So
I'm also kind of interested to see how they would end a show like this. You know?
I would be too. I need to look at the timeline because I'm curious. Can't remember where Solo lands on this. I'll make this bigger. So, right, Bad Batch literally picks up right at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Obviously, this hasn't been updated for Maul yet. Oh, but this is saying, yeah. So this is saying Rebels is 5 years before. That doesn't make any sense. This graphic doesn't make any sense, but I'm curious as to where Solo lines up with this. So Solo is right in between. Solo is 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, 10 years before A New Hope. Right, this is taking up 1 year. So yeah, so we got 5 years up until the events of Solo. Right
Which
now.
is when he's in the top. He's at the top.
That's when he's at the top. That's when he's, in charge of the crime syndicate. So there's 5 years of time right now before we've seen Darth Maul again. And then for some reason I thought Star Wars Rebels was earlier because they show Luke as like an 8-year-old kid, but maybe he was young. Maybe he was a little bit younger than maybe he wasn't 20. I'm curious, how many years before A New Hope is Star Wars Rebels? Oh, right, it's confusing me. Wikipedia. Oh my god. Holy freaking pop-up ads.
Solo takes place
Why does this
approximately
not giving
5
me a
years
timeline?
before Rebels.
5 years
Does
before
that sound right?
Rebels, which means Rebels is 5 years before A New Hope.
Solo is roughly 10 to 13 years before A New Hope. So yeah. Star Wars Rebels
Star
starts
Wars
5
Rebels.
years
That's
before.
interesting. I thought it was. I don't know why they showed Luke at such a young age. How old is? He's 19, so he had to have been. So he would have been 14
So right
in
now in
Rebels when
Maul,
they.
we're 10 years away from Rebels.
Yeah.
So you could
No.
do
15.
so Maul right now is
Right.
10 years from Solo. How many years is
Because
Maul
this is.
from Rebels right now?
Well. Holy shit!
Solo
Why are we confused? We literally just figured this
takes
out.
place about 10 years prior to episode 4 or approximately 8 years after episode 3. So it's 18 years in between 3 and 4? Is that
It should be 19 because Luke was 19. Luke was 19 years old in A New Hope. So there's 19 years. This is 1 year after New Hope. Rebels is 5 years before A New Hope. So Rebels is.
this guy said Solo is 10 years after the Clone Wars, season 4, 9 years after Revenge of the Sith, and 8 years before Rebels season 3. So 8. God, this is messing with my.
I know. I'm trying to pull up a decent graphic, but all these graphics are like kind of shitty. This might be the best one we got. So Revenge of the Sith is 19 BBY.
What's BBY mean? Do you know?
It's just it's years. Just year 19. It's the Star
So what's
Wars
year
years.
0? Is that is that, Revenge of the Sith?
No, it goes backwards. So A New Hope is 0 BBY. It's
Oh, interesting.
and then after that it's ABY, I believe. So Revenge of the Sith is 19 BBY and Solo is 10 BBY. So Solo is 9 years after Revenge of the Sith. Kenobi is this graphic, it's blurry, but it either says 8 or 9 BBY. So Obi-Wan Kenobi's right after Solo. Andor is 5 BBY. So 5 years before A New Hope. But it also leads up to Rogue One, like directly. Like the final scene of Andor is seconds or is right as they're getting on the ship to go on the mission that they were on at the very, very start of Rogue One. And Rogue One is right before, and then Rogue One
Leads into New Hope.
literally ends exactly where New Hope starts. So Andor is 3 years, so 3 seasons, but Andor is essentially 5 years. Because like I said, Rogue One is pretty much
But when
leads
Andor
right up.
happens, Maul's already dead. Because he dies in Rebels.
So, I mean, technically, so according to this, Star Wars Rebels starts in 5 BBY, so they start at the same time. So Darth Maul is still alive for a period of time throughout Andor.
Interesting. Gosh, that's
Right,
crazy.
because they're happening at this the events of Andor and the events of Rebels are happening somewhat at the same time.
So he's where we're at with Darth Maul right now. There's plenty of time.
Yeah, so there's 10
Could
years right now before, or 8 years,
could
right?
you?
Because 1 year. So we're right now we should be in 20 BBY. So there's 18 BBY. So there's 8 years to cover until Darth Maul is at his peak, and then I mean, another 8. I mean, I don't know exactly. Let's see, what year does Darth Maul die? What year does Darth Maul die? So Darth Maul officially dies in 2 BBY.
So it is
2 years,
before.
2 years before A New Hope. So
Holy
Darth
shit.
Maul,
So he.
right?
Damn.
Because like I said, Star Wars Rebels is happening at the same time as Andor and Rogue One. I think kind of right
Yeah, I've seen Rogue
because they
Ones.
kind of they flash because the last season they flash ahead a little bit or whatever. But so yeah, so Darth Maul is alive throughout Andor and and that part of the show, which is they did a terrible job because they showed Luke for like 2 seconds in Rebels, supposedly in 2 BBY, 2 years before A New Hope, and Luke looks like he's 8 years old.
But he's actually
He should
like.
he should be 17 years old when they showed
I'm gonna.
Luke's supposed
I
to.
want to look up and see what he looks like in this.
Yeah, look up Luke Skywalker in Star Wars Rebels. He's supposed to be 17 years old. According to the timeline here.
Why do I? Why can I not find a picture?
Look up a video because they just show him running up to here.
Hmm.
See if you can see it. I'm looking it up right now. I'm gonna pull up the episode. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because of my camera quality, but I won't be able to screenshot it either because Disney doesn't let me. Um, it should be season 4. Oh no, not season 4, season 3. Shoot, for some reason I didn't realize how close Rebels actually is to.
I'm actually excited to watch this show. It looks pretty good.
Oh shit! What episode? It was like what, Twin Sons or something like that. Is that season 2 of Rebels? Am I that? Okay, Twilight of the, yeah. So it should be. It's probably the start. Is it the
What's
start
this
of
say?
season 3? People have probably turned off our podcast at this point. Oh shit.
Yeah, I can't find it.
Oh my god, why the fuck can I not find Darth Maul's death in here? I'm gonna find this.
When you find it, you got to send it to me. But anyway, I mean,
Twin Sons, here we go.
I just found a video of Obi-Wan watching him from far away, but you don't really see anything.
Yeah, so it's right here. Right at the end. I don't know how we should go. Okay, yeah, you can see it's pretty decent. All right, so here's Obi-Wan like pulling up to go check on Luke. Let's see if you can see it. It should be like. Okay, so it's really small. Hang on.
I think that's the video I just watched.
Yeah. So it's really small. It's really small. Like you can't even see him, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a little boy. They're showing a little boy, and the point is he's supposed to be 17. And just if you get a chance, because you go. It's Twin Sons.
I just watched the video and I could barely see something running. So I mean, it was.
Yeah, it's.
I mean.
Anyways, we're totally off. We're not even talking. Let's just.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening in. Hope you guys enjoyed Maul Shadow Lord as much as we did. Phenomenal show. We'll see you guys, for a more serious episode later this week.